The Seattle Sounders finished their last public practice before they take off for Marbella, Spain. Sounders will have one more practice tomorrow, but it's a private invite-only shindig for ticket holders, whatnot. But hey, let's get to the video.
Vision is the key. You can't make a good soccer decision unless you see the whole field.
We good?
We're good.
Thanks, Coach. I just have, I got to ask the obvious question. Could you tell us about the relationship between U.S. soccer and clubs, and this is specifically to Jackson Reagan's situation, just on the word about.
With each coach, it's different. And, you know, the relationship in this window, is it a, mandated FIFA window, all that? No. Have we in the past let our players go? Yes. In this case, we made a decision. I spoke to Jackson personally before and after, and I think we're ready to move on. I mean, yeah, he's going to say what he says, get things off his chest, but he's ready to move on in the conversation that I had with him.
And fair enough. Speaking of moving on, your top priorities as you go over Marbella, Spain, what are some of those things you're looking to accomplish?
Getting the team ready, because we've got a tough opening, opening part of the year. You've got guaranteed 4 games in 2 weeks, and if we can get by Antigua, which will be tricky, there's another 2 tacked on right away, and then you get the league matches. So, we need everybody to kind of see what it looks like. And my response to that was, yes, you are, because he's a super talented player. And what I did is I added on top of that comment, and these are the things you need to work on to continue your growth, because he started, here. He started a little bit late, came to Defiance, got on the field with us, made improvements, finalist for Defender of the Year. His ceiling is even higher if he can work on a couple of extra things. So he's going to get a look. The national team coaches are going to look at our league. There's 2 years to the World Cup. He's going to get opportunities to show the coach who he is. So that was part of it. And, look, Jackson said what he needed to say in the press. I hope, again, he gets it off his chest and we move forward. Conversations that Jesus had with the national team trainers. So I'm only going by what Jesus told me. And that was that they had good discussions. They were going to ramp him up, build his fitness up in the national team, and the decision was made that if he couldn't fully participate in all of the training sessions and, his, I want to make sure I say this right, his participation in the 2 matches, maybe it's a few minutes in the final match, well, should we just keep you here? Should we not? And the trainers and Jesus made a decision that it was best to come here to Seattle. I liked the decision personally for a couple of different reasons. First, wearing my official Sounder cap, it gets him into camp and we see what we have. And then from a personal level, look, there's a new national team coach. So Jesus going in there not 100% fit. Sometimes first impressions are, hard to overcome. So I told him, I said, look, could be a blessing in disguise. Hey, let's get you fit. Let's have a successful year here, start to the year here in Seattle, and once you're fit, then you go into a camp, then you might be a little sharper. Whatever you want to call it, it's pretty darn similar. Mm-hmm. It's pretty close. Still build the same way, 3-2. The pivots are the same. It's just what happens up front now wide. Last year we were kind of skewed. The right side was here, but Nuhu stayed home. We had a true winger out here. It's pretty close. The formations are close enough that I don't have that fear that players are not going to understand. For whatever tactical reason, against RSL we're going to play this way, and against LAFC we're going to play this way.
Jeremiah.
And last year we went again to the same location because we wanted concentration. We felt we had a good experience the first time. This year we're going back to Spain because we enjoy playing against some of the European teams. We could go to Palm Springs or Florida or Tucson or other places to play. There you're playing against MLS teams. Yes, we could, maybe play against some East Coast teams that we don't see that much. So a different opponent, the fields, the facilities that we're at are very, very good. Obviously, I myself will enjoy Spain because they have nice food and nice red wine. But it's a good bonding experience. We'll have some team activities, 3 excellent games. So, this has been a good trip for us.
Maz, did you have a follow-up?
I do. Hey, Brian, so you fortify your attacking, you had the best defense last year. What has to happen, without us going to every single player, what has to happen in midfield for all of this to work? I know you've got the 2 holding back.
Well, the holding midfielder positions, it doesn't really change. I think signing JP was a good move. You had Christian, Obed, JP. I think that's all good. I think we're strong in a lot of areas, Maz. I think the team just has to progress in the way we play from an attacking standpoint, be a little bit unpredictable, if that's the way I want to explain it. Did teams figure Jordan out? Georgie came on at the end of last year and was unpredictable, and you saw some exciting soccer. Some end product needs to be there with that one. Paul at the end of the year, they kind of knew his, what he brought. So adding another couple of talented attacking players in the mix allows me to, look, if it's 60 minutes in or 58 minutes in because I'm on a sub earlier, maybe we make some changes. You got fresh players off the bench who are experienced, and midweek games. We have 42 already scheduled. We'll need everybody, so it's an exciting time.
Do you then have to create more simulation early in practices so that players, you want unpredictability in the attack, but it has to be some predictability between the players?
Well, what I mean by that, and again, I'll use the example. So let's just take Paul Areola. I don't want to use him. Let's use Paul Rothrock.
Right.
And Georgie Manungo playing left wing in a 4-2-3-1. So they all know their roles and kind of what they have to do in the area of the field they work with. But Paul is more of a straight up and down, over the top, hard work. Georgie's all, flash, and he's going to dribble and he's going to do stuff. So it's the same position, but they're totally different players. So what I mean by some unpredictability is, okay, let's just say we start Paul in a game and it's not working, then Georgie goes. Or if we're at home and we want to really push the tempo, I'll start Georgie. And then if we are up a goal, you can bring Paul on because he can close out games. So that type of unpredictability is what I meant.
For me, from the start, we knew that there was a little bit of issue, but we realized quickly that it wasn't an injury. So just to be clear and put it out there, it's no injury there. It's more of like a chronic thing that, from past injuries. I think that my leg wasn't there yet in fitness wise, in endurance, to be able to sustain 2 matches. And so I was doing my plan that the national team gave me, the plan that Seattle wanted me to follow, and we were progressing really good. I was supposed to be incorporated with the team yesterday if we were following the plan that the national team had for me if I was still there. But we sat down and we thought about it. We came to a conclusion that realistically we were going to have 2 hard trainings before game day. We had one minus 1 training and then the other one in 3 days. So realistically, two trainings that I would get the most out of it. So and I would only get played 20 minutes, based on the fitness and the progression that we were making. So for me, thinking with the coaching staff and the medical staff and the national team, I came and I decided and I said, hey, I want to go to Seattle, especially that they're starting the preseason. I want to join them and kind of get to know everybody and start a preseason that I haven't had in a while, just because of January camps and last year from injury. So especially because it was a new team that I was coming into. So I wanted to come in here, make a good impression, get healthy to the point where I was good. But that's kind of everything that kind of happened. But the good thing is that it's not a new injury or not an injury at all, or just in strengthening and doing endurance for the leg to be able to sustain here. Get to know the guys, get to know the staff, put up a good plan, knowing that we're gonna have a lot of games coming this year. And so for me, my goal is to have a good year. I think that I told the national team is that if I have a good year, I know I'm going to get other opportunities. And so for me, my focus is to be strong mentally, physically, to be able to perform. And I know that my opportunities will come. So that's why I didn't really hesitate or really, didn't think about it too much in terms of coming here, because I know that it would be ideal to get to know everybody, to kind of just start fresh and go to Spain with the team,
All right, so there you go. You heard from head coach Brian Smetzer and newly signed forward Jesus Ferrero, who just came back from the U.S. national team, and he was released by the U.S. national team, and he cleared up the controversy in regards to no, it was not an injury, it was more of a load maintenance, and they wanted the U.S. national team. But Patachino wanted him to play in some games, and he wasn't quite ready. And so they said, hey, let's send him back to the Sounders, and he can go ahead and practice with the team and wrap up for the Sounders preseason games, which is coming up. And as I said, they're in Marbella, Spain. And the first game in Hungarian side, Paska Akadema, and then they will take on Swedish side, much easier to say, Humbai, on February the 5th. The Sounders season, if you will begin February the 19th against Guatemalan side Antigua FC down there, and then the rematch will be here on February the 26th. That is at Lumen Field, and that is round 1 of the CONCACAF Champions League. So Sounders, as I said, they are on their way. This practice have started. Preseason is just underway. From Renton, I'm Osvita Maria for the Cascadia Sports.net report. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing.